it's Jackie. Let me start over. Hey guys, it's Jackie and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a really exciting video for you guys because I'm joined here by one of my favorite yoga teachers and my friend Kyrie, and she is at Namaste Kyrie on social media. You guys should definitely go follow her. So what are we doing today?
So today I'm going to walk you through a beginner yoga flow. It is a Vinyasa style, so that's more of kind of a breath to movement, but we'll set up each flow beforehand. Jackie is going to do the flow with you guys, and I'll kind of point out some things in her body that you guys can apply to yourself, and we'll all take you through just a fun time.
It's gonna be so fun. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited too. And stay till the end because we're gonna break down some of the poses for you guys. So grab your yoga mats and let's begin. All right, let's start right away in child's pose, Savasana. Bring your big toes to touch the back of your mat. Have a seat right on your heels. And separate your knees as wide as is comfortable, extending your arms out nice and long. Take a moment here to settle into your space. Let go of your day so far, any commitments that you may have. Allow yourself to arrive fully present on the four corners of your mat. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill all the way up. And a big open mouth exhale. Another one just like that. Inhale and open mouth. And seal your lips. Start to cultivate your Ujjayi pranayama breath. So what you'll do is hug the muscles towards the back of your throat to create a slight constriction, and breathe in and out through your nose only. You'll notice this almost feels like you're fogging up a mirror as you breathe out. Kind of sounds like wind blowing through the trees as you breathe in. This breath helps to produce heat from the inside out, which cultivates a detoxification in your body. It also helps to keep you focused in your mind, clearing out any clutter. So if you notice that this breath starts to get choppy or you lose track of it, you can always come right back to this space. Child's pose is a resting posture. As you breathe here for a moment, continue to feel your side ribs stretch away from your hips as your hips settle back a little deeper into your heels. And then stretch along your arm bones and out through your fingertips as you traction your palms into the mat to create almost a lengthening along your side bodies. On your next inhale, rise to a tabletop position. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrists and your hips over your knees. From here, we'll take a few cat-cow. So inhale, drop your belly for cow pose. Lift your heart up. Breathe here for a few moments. Just allow your heart to expand. You'll notice a little bit of broadening right across the shoulders, along the front, and then a slight squeeze behind your heart. Take another breath in. Exhale to cat. Round and hollow your belly out. Really press the floor away. Keep breathing right here and feel that big expansion along the back side of your body, almost like a parachute. We'll flow this breath to movement just a couple of times. So inhale for cow, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, cat, round and hollow, press the ground away. Again, inhale, lift your heart, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come right back to tabletop, straighten your spine. Exhale, tuck your toes downward facing dog. Send your hips high, almost creating an inverted V with your body here. Now, a lot of times we try to shove our heels into the ground. That's not really the goal of down dog. So know that it's okay to keep a slightly soft bend in the knee. You'll see that here on Jackie. And that's perfectly okay because down dog's intention is to help elongate the spine here. So focus on pressing the ground away, really wide starfish-like hands.
And press into that L shape part of your hand. That helps to alleviate tension from your wrists. And place a slight micro bend in your elbows, one that's invisible that maybe you can feel, but if someone were to look at you, they couldn't tell. And as you do that, start to turn the eyes of your elbows forward toward the horizon of your mat. And you'll feel kind of a strengthening right here along the side bodies, your lats, your serratus anterior. Now hug your low belly in just a little more as you press your heart back and your tailbone higher. And then with that still soft bend in the knees, feel the backs of your legs lengthen as your heels just ever so slightly melt toward the earth. Okay. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, ragdoll pose, Uttanasana. Walk slowly to the top of your mat and keep a hip width stance here. And then keep that same micro bend in your knees, or maybe bend your knees a lot here if the backs of your thighs are a little tighter right now, that's okay. Shift your weight slightly forward so your hips stack over your heels, and then let your head, neck, and fingers dangle here. You should feel a slight decompression in your low back. If it feels good, you can shake your head yes and no, kind of letting go of that tension you've been carrying around all day, and maybe even grab for opposite elbows. And you can kind of sway your torso side to side like an elephant's trunk here. Whatever feels good to you. Sometimes I grab the backs of my legs and make a crisscross through them. And I just shake my head. And then release your palms and toe-heel your feet all the way together to touch. Keep that soft bend in your knees. Tuck your chin and inhale to rise just one vertebra at a time. You reach the top, inhale, shrug your shoulders, and exhale, relax them down. Samasthiti, bring your hands to your heart center and close your eyes here. This is a really beautiful time to set an intention for your practice. If there's some love and light you'd like to send to someone that you know and care about, you're welcome to do so here. Maybe hold it close and consider setting an intention for you to focus on throughout your practice. Whether that's finding a sense of peace and calm, or really just tuning into your breath. Whatever it is, see it clearly in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath in. And an open mouth exhale to send your intention out. Seal your lips, come right back to that victorious Ujjayi breath. And gently blink your eyes open, release your palms to your sides. This is another variation of Samasthiti. We'll start right away setting up a Sun A flow, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Raise your arms overhead. Keep rooted through the four corners of your feet. What I mean by that is literally here, 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 and here. So lift all 10 toes, spread them really wide, and then set them down lightly one at a time. Then engage your thighs a lot so your kneecaps start to lift without locking your knees. Keep your bottom ribs pulled in slightly and tighten your core. Now turn your pinkies inward just a little bit. That'll start to hollow out your armpits and create kind of a broadening of your shoulder blades across your back. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to your heart first. Soften your knees. Keep your weight forward and hinge with a flat spine, Gajeki. Let your head, neck, and fingers dangle here. So this is kind of like ragdoll, but our feet are together. From here, inhale, halfway lift. Press your palms into your shins without locking your knees. Keep your weight shifted forward just like before. Hug your low belly in and squeeze your shoulder blades to almost cradle your heart behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, high plank. Plant your palms, step back to the top of a push-up. Okay. So stack your shoulders right on top of your wrists here. Without pointing your toes quite yet, keep your hips up in line with your shoulders and almost scoop your tailbone down toward your heels so that you feel the engagement in your low belly versus your low back. Inhale, tip forward just past your fingertips, and exhale, option to lower just halfway for Chaturanga or all the way to the floor for preparing for a Cobra pose. So you have a couple options here. And we'll break some of these down towards the end, so stay tuned. So from here, inhale, Cobra pose. Just lift your heart up off the earth. You'll notice that her elbows are actually tucked in pretty close to her sides. Same thing happens as you're lowering down to this position. Keep the tops of your feet pressed into your mat so your knees and thighs are engaged. and your glutes are kind of soft. Lengthen the back of your neck here. Good. Now tuck your toes. Good. Breathe in. And exhale, push back up to your high plank and downward facing dog. So that's option 1. Option 2 is to inhale, shift forward to your high plank. Drop to your knees. Lower just halfway to Chaturanga. Good. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest, knees, and thighs this time. Really roll your shoulders back and out of your ears as you pull your belly through your forearms. Breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips back up. Good, so you can do a combination of any of those, and I'll break down a few options towards the end of the video, so feel free to check those out. I'll just have Jackie do whatever she's feeling comfortable with today in her practice, and you can change those up as well throughout your practice. So let's flow breath to movement, nice and slow through that sun A. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Walk to the top, feet to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins. Exhale, Chaturanga or lower to the floor, your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. Nice. And just take a couple of breaths here, in through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale out through the nose. Relax your shoulders as you breathe in. And then keep them engaged on the outside as you breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, reach high. Exhale, forward fold, dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga or lower to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few breaths here, in through your nose. Grounding breath out through your nose. You'll notice you're building some heat already. Let's move on to sun B. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit low as if you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Press most of your weight into your heels so you could kind of flicker your toes like little flames if you wanted to. Then keep your belly engaged as you lift it off of your thighs. Act as if you're trying to point your tailbone straight down toward your mat. Good, now hug your inner thighs a little closer as you breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, relax through your heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Pause right here. Level your hips off. What you can do is actually look back at your toes, right? Make sure all 5 of them are actually pointing toward the ground, including the pinky side edge. Take another breath in. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and then lightly step through to a low lunge. If you notice that your foot doesn't quite land right between your feet, you can do exactly what Jackie just did and scooch it forward a little bit more. Make sure that your knee is right on top of your ankle here. Inhale, warrior 2. Seal your back foot first, then rise up and reach for the front and back of your mat here. Keep your arms level like a T. And you'll notice she's working toward a beautiful 90-degree angle in her front foot. Look down, make sure you can still see your front big toe. And in order to do so, you'll have to feel this opening of the hip, peeling the knee toward the knife edge of your foot. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach toward the front of your mat. Drop your front arm and raise your back arm high. Continue to press down through the knife edge of your back foot. Keep a slight lift in your chest so that your heart can spiral open toward the sky. And then notice your top shoulder, is it hugging your ear? Try to relax that down. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stay nice and low in your lunge the whole time. Nice job, Jackie. Good. Lift up and back through your front arm. Little to no weight down your back leg and your back arm. Same thing here. This top shoulder tends to want to creep up by the ear. Allow it to soften, but maintain the strength in your belly as you do. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. So you cartwheel your arms down this time. Step back and lower, either all the way or halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Pause right here, same thing. Tendency is to open the hips up to try to get the leg as high as we can. Instead, spiral what's called the inseam of your left thigh up toward the sky. So feel the inner thigh kind of reaching for the ceiling as you spiral your pinky side edge of your foot down. Take a breath in. Exhale, knee to nose first. That will help you find your low lunge. Yes, good. Nice. So that hollowing out of the belly and the back, it really engages everything and helps you to step forward a little easier. From here, inhale, warrior two, seal your back foot down, rise up. Good. So make sure that your back toes are pointing either straight up, toward the side of your mat, or even slightly up toward the top right corner of your mat here. What that does is helps to create a slight internal rotation of your back hip. Keep your hips nice and level with your shoulders stacked right on top of them. And then energize through your fingertips. So if I were to really try to press down on her arm, they wouldn't move. Cool. Breathe in. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach forward. Tic-tac your arms to 6 and 12 o'clock. Okay, so notice how her spine is still really straight here. And she's almost kind of pulling her shoulders back. And what that does is creates this nice flat plane. So if she was being pressed between two panes of glass, she wouldn't have to clean them later, right? Because she's not getting any fingerprints on them. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stay low. Lift up and back. Yes, gorgeous transition. And allow yourself to give a high five to the back side of the room so that you create that internal, rather external rotation of the shoulder, and that will help you to keep it soft and away from the ear. Maintain a lift through your side bodies here so you're not crunching this back space. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. Cartwheel your arms, step back, and hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take a big breath in right here. Get really grounded as you breathe out. Good. And we'll flow breath to movement just like that on each side. Starting from chair pose. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Walk to the top, feet to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit low, reach high. Exhale, forward fold, dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga of your choice. So you can lower all the way or just halfway in from your knees or not. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg, keep your hips square. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two, rise up. Exhale, extended side angle, reach in, tick-tock. Inhale, reverse warrior, stay nice and low. Good. Exhale, Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Keep the hips in one line. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a slow breath out. And this time I'll cue you through breath to movement, just the right and left side, and I'll kind of stand out of the way of adjusting Jackie so you can see a little bit more detail. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. Inhale, warrior 2, open up. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, dance back. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And this time take a big open mouth exhale. Release some heat. Inhale. One more just like that. Open mouth. Inhale, gaze ahead. Exhale, step through to a seat. And so if you're feeling a little warm at this point in time, you're welcome to take a towel off, maybe even take a little sip of water. I recommend not guzzling your water because it doesn't feel very good to have that sloshing around in your belly while you're flowing. But feel free to take a minute to pause and do that right now. We'll start to work into the core a little bit because the core is what we use throughout our entire yoga practice. And we'll be using it a little bit more as we continue on, so we want to make sure it's nice and warm. So we'll start with boat pose, Savasana. Bring your seat to the center of your mat, and I'll show you a couple of layers right here. So sit up nice and tall, grab behind your thighs. You can leave your tiptoes on the mat right here. And really roll your shoulders back and away from your ears, almost like you're puffing your heart up to the sky. Okay, this is layer 1. You can stay right here and breathe. If you notice that your back is still really flat, your breath is strong, option for layer 2, lift one foot and then the other in line with your knees. And you can either point your toes or you can flex them toward your face. Whatever feels best to you. Keep your chest lifted. That's it. Nice job. Option for layer 3, bring your arms forward in front of you like little wings, palms face up. Good. Keep your chest lifted, and if you smile, it gets easier. That's why Jackie's smiling. Breathe here for 3. Yes, you can. Open mouth exhales to release heat for 2. Yeah, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and rock and roll gently forward and back on your mat. Give yourself a little spinal massage. And then top of your 3rd or 4th rock, you can cross your ankles, plant your palms, and very gently step back to a high plank. Good. So working a little bit further into the core, I'll show a couple layers for this as well. We'll do side plank next. So go ahead and drop your right knee just to start. We'll face the camera the first time through. Inhale, side plank, Vashisthasana. So this is layer 1. You can keep your bottom knee on the floor and kind of spin your heel out behind you like a little kickstand as you extend your top arm to the sky. So you can pick whichever side you want to start with because we're going to do both one right after the other anyways. So second layer is to actually bring both feet together out behind you and almost like a literal plank on its side. Good. Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Good. Last option is you can come down to your knee if you prefer. If you want to add just half a step up, lift your other leg. Just a little bit. Good. Either way, you want to keep a nice straight line from your bottom knee or through both knees, whichever layer you're in, through your hips and out the crown of your head. Take a breath in. And exhale, come gently back to a high plank or a modified plank on your knees. Inhale, side plank, Vashisthasana, other side. So again, you can take it to your bottom knee, kickstand your foot out behind you. Whatever you did on one side, always do on the other. And Jackie might switch it up a couple times here as well. So when you do that, make sure to keep a slight micro bend in your elbow, again, an invisible one that you can feel and we cannot see, so that you're using the muscles to support you. Shaking is a good thing. It means you're working hard. Your muscles are excited. Breathe in. Exhale, high plank. From here, you can either take another little vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. If you were feeling winded at that point, totally okay. You can always just push back to downward facing dog. You can skip any one of your chaturangas and up dogs throughout this practice. Take a big breath in. And open mouth, exhale, let it out. So good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, just like the beginning of class. Exhale, prayer twist. Guide your hands to your heart first. And then take your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. This way you're facing the camera first. And then make sure, look down at your knees here. There you go. Slide the right one back so it's in line with your left. And keep your hips below your heart. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. And then exhale, peel your ribs open so that you're pressing your thumb right into the center of your chest. That's it. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, release. We'll take gorilla pose next. Wiggle your feet hip width distance, just like ragdoll. And then flip your palms upside down so that your fingers point back behind your toes. And then step right onto your feet so your toes kiss your wrist creases here. And then keep that belly to thigh connection. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit more in this space, that's totally okay. Keep your weight shifted forward so you feel some pressure in the wrist creases. You could even wiggle your toes, give them a little massage. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. And exhale to fold. So you'll feel your biceps activate here. Send your elbows to the wide edges of your mat. Good, now unshrug your shoulders at the same time. Lots of action going on. Send your tailbone higher as you inhale. Pull your heart closer to your thighs as you exhale. One more breath in. And exhale to release. Toe heel your feet all the way back together to touch. And inhale, chair pose. Sit low, reach high. Exhale, prayer twist. Take your time, bring your hands to your heart, and hook the outside of your left elbow to your right thigh. Same thing here, checking with your foundation. Look at your feet, make sure they're together. Your legs are zipped up from the waist down and your knees are in one line. That ensures that your pelvis is nice and neutral here. Breathe and lengthen through the crown of your head. As you exhale, peel your top shoulder away from your thumbs and your shoulders. Keep your hips low. You got it. One more breath in. Exhale, release to forward fold. Toe heel your feet hip width distance here for a moment. Let's take a little ragdoll. If it feels good to pause here and grab for opposite elbows, maybe sway gently. Feel free. Allow your breath to be smooth and slow and strong and steady. And notice already the difference that you feel in your body, the warmth in your muscles, the length, the flexibility, and the strength. And release your palms. Toe heel your feet together to touch. Tuck your chin, inhale, roll up just one vertebra at a time. Feel free to shrug your shoulders again at the top. Breathe in and exhale, Samastitihi. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. So if you set an intention at the beginning of this flow, come back to that right now. Maybe send that extra love and light to your friend that needs it, or focus really on your breath, the texture, the rhythm. And notice how as you focus on those intentions, that clutter is gone or starts to fade. See your intention clearly. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Send some life to it. Seal your lips. Re-engage that Ujjayi breath. Gently blink your eyes back open. And for the sake of this flow, I'm going to have Jackie turn to face the camera so you can kind of see what we're moving into next. Inhale, chair pose. Sit low. Feet together. Exhale, eagle on the right. We'll set up the arms first. Set the right arm underneath your left, and you'll cross both at your elbows and at the wrists to bring your palms to touch. And if that connection doesn't quite happen, you can always grab for opposite shoulders, just like that. Big bear hug, yeah? Okay, so from here, press your weight into your left foot and lift your right leg over top. You can kickstand your toes on the floor for a little support, or you can wrap your toes behind your calf for a little double bind. Either way, stay low in your chair, level your hips, keep breathing. Draw your elbows up slightly so that they line up with your shoulders as you relax your shoulders down. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, eagle on the other side. Sweep your left arm under. Lift your left leg up and over. So the same arm that's under is going to be the same leg that crosses over top. And do the same thing in your feet that you did before so that you're creating that balance. And then line your knees, your belly button, and your elbows all up. As if I were to take a marker and draw a line right down the center of your body. Relax the muscles between your brows as you find a non-moving object to focus on. This is called your drishti. It's a yogi gaze. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, samastitihi. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Take a breath in. A breath out. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, tree pose. Vrikshasana. Root down through the four corners of your left foot. Bring the inside arch of your right foot to either kickstand at your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh. Just be mindful not to press your foot against your knee at all, okay? So if you notice that you're feeling a little wobbly, just come down below the knee, that's fine. Either way, keep your hips level with one another, and then steer your right hip slightly forward. Even though you're trying to open the knee up, we want to keep both hips pointing straight ahead. Then lengthen your tailbone toward your heels, stand taller. You can leave your hands right where they are, or you can extend them like little branches up and overhead. You can play with this a little too. You can do whatever shapes, whatever branches you'd like. To challenge your balance, you can always lift your gaze or close your eyes. You don't have to do that though. Good. Inhale your hands back to your heart. Exhale, samastitihi. Bring your foot to the floor. Feel free to shake it out a second if that feels good. Inhale, tree pose, other side. Root down through your right foot. Bring your left foot to the same place, or at least work toward that same place you did on the first side. Most likely you'll notice quite a bit of a difference from one side to the other, and that's okay. That's why we do yoga, right? To create that balance. So stay rooted through the four corners of your standing leg. Really create a slight compression of your foot against your inner thigh or inner calf. Remember, not against the knee. And that will help you to draw in and up to stand taller. Once your breath is steady, your balance is a strong option to grow your branches, extending your arms, or you can leave them where they are. You'll notice Jackie changed it up this time. That's beautiful. Find your expression here. Inhale your hands to your heart. Exhale, samastitihi. Bring your foot back to the earth. We'll go ahead and take it back down to the mat through a sun A. So if you want to turn and face me. You guys are doing great, by the way. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, or skip it all together and just push back to down dog, your choice. And that's what Jackie's doing. So if you're flowing, inhale up dog and exhale down. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step through to a seat. So we'll take a nice little hip stretch. I often will cue pigeon for a hip stretch, but since we're doing a yoga flow for beginners, we're actually going to do what's called a figure 4 or supine pigeon. I'm going to have you recline to your back, and this is a really great option for those of you that are familiar with yoga. If you're ever having to rehab from an injury in your knee, this is a really great option instead of pigeon or half pigeon. So if you're taking an actual yoga class, whether that's online or with a studio, know that you can recline to your back and do this variation. Even if the teacher doesn't call for it, you can always honor your body and take this variation instead. So notice how Jackie planted her feet right away. Make sure they're hip distance apart. And then keep your ankles right underneath your knees. From here, inhale, extend your right leg toward the sky. And exhale, cross your ankle over your left thigh. Okay, so this is what creates that figure 4-like shape. From here, flex your pinky toe side of your foot toward your shin bone. So there should be a little bit of a burn right on top of the shin here. And then take your right hand and thread the needle in that figure 4. So reach right through the center. Good, and then grab behind your left thigh with both hands. Relax your head and your neck. Remember to keep this top foot engaged, so that pinky side edge should kind of rotate and flare up toward your shin bone. And you can always press your right knee away from you a little bit by bending your right elbow and pushing it away. You should feel a little stretch in the outer hip. Can you feel it? Yeah? Okay. Breathe here. Notice your shoulders, muscles in your neck, and between your brows. Inhale, extend your right leg back up, and exhale, hug both of your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side if that feels good, or draw a few circles on the ceiling with your knees. And go ahead and plant them back down on the floor. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale, figure 4 on the other side, so cross it over. And right away, flex your pinky toe up toward the knee. And then reach through with your left hand, grab behind your right thigh. Here's another place where you may feel a slight imbalance, and that's okay. Give yourself some space to breathe. You can keep pressing your left thigh away if you like, if that feels good. Maybe that's enough for you right there. And if you would let go of your hands for just a moment and plant your foot back on the floor, this might be plenty for some of you, and that's totally okay. And in fact, if that's the case, you can even take your palm and push your thigh away. So you can go ahead and come back to that other variation. We'll just take a few more breaths here. Notice, did you start to let go of this top foot? Keep flaring the pinky toe side toward your knee. Relax the space between your brows. Once you feel even on both sides, that may not be right now. You might want to hang for a little bit longer in this pose. That's okay. Inhale, extend your leg up. And exhale, knees to chest. Hug them in. Only when you're ready. Feel free to press pause and hang a little bit longer. Plant your feet back on the floor. We'll take a little spine strengthening here. Make sure your feet, again, are only hip distance here, and that your heels are underneath your knees. Plant your palms right next to you into your mat. Feel some strength in your belly here. Inhale to lift your hips up to bridge pose. And so really engage through your feet. Press into the floor, engage your thighs. Allow the glutes to soften slightly, not all the way, but enough where you're not clenching them, right? Keep your belly strong. Option here to keep pressing into the floor. If you'd like to open across your chest, your heart, you can interlace your hands behind your lower back. Okay. Kind of shimmy your shoulder blades underneath. Puff up your chest. As you do that, really press your knuckles into the floor and feel how that activates your triceps a little bit more. One more breath in. Exhale, release the bind in your hands if you have it. Slowly relax your hips to the floor. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. From here, very gently roll to one side and press up to a seat with your legs out in front of you. For a seated forward fold, you want to flex your toes toward your face and then micro bend your knees, or maybe for you it's a bigger bend and that's okay. Either way, you want to sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, and exhale to seated forward fold. Maintain that length in your low back as you hinge at your hips. And then grab for whatever's accessible to you. For Jackie, it's her feet. For you, it might be your shins or ankles. That's okay. For me, some days it's my shins too. So keep your tailbone so it's actually pointing straight out toward the back of your mat rather than scooping under you. See how Jackie's back is really flat here. Breathe in, lengthen out of your waist, and exhale, hinge a little deeper. Okay, so you should feel a stretch in your low back, not just your hamstrings. Very gently rise back up. Reach your arms out in front of you. You can make this a strengthening pose if you like. Recline all the way to your back. Nice. Good job. Inhale, draw your knees to your chest. Exhale, happy baby. Draw your knees out wide. And literally like a happy little baby plays with your feet. You can grab either your feet, you can grab your ankles or your shins. And if you notice that your pelvis or your head really lifts off the ground, maybe you're feeling some strain in your neck from trying to reach up to grab your feet, I encourage you, keep your feet stacked on top of your ankles right where they are, but just let go of your feet and instead grab your backs of your thighs or calves instead. You can sway here gently side to side and take a little spinal massage. Draw your knees back into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. Bring your arms out like wings as you breathe in. Exhale, take your knees to the left side of your mat. Very, very slowly. So a nice gentle supine twist here. And if it feels good in your neck, you can actually turn your gaze in the opposite direction. If you don't like that though, you don't have to do it. You can even close your eyes here for the rest of practice. Inhale, gently unwind and come back to center. Give your knees another little squeeze. Inhale your arms back out like wings. Exhale, gentle supine twist, other side. Take your knees in the opposite direction and turn your closed-eyed gaze over your opposite arm this time. If you ever want an added little pec stretch, you can take a little goalpost or a cactus shape in your arm, and that'll get right into the pecs or the front of the chest. And once you feel even, inhale gently, unwind. Give yourself one final hug here. Curl up into the tiniest little ball that you can and squeeze every single muscle in your body, even the ones in your face. Scrunch them up. Take a deep breath in. And open mouth exhale, release to Savasana, corpse pose, the final posture. This pose is actually the most important posture of your entire practice, believe it or not. So often we are on the go, go all the time. And this is that pose that allows you to really tap into the relaxation side of your nervous system. So allow your feet to flop out. Rest your palms face up beside you. Preparing to receive the benefits of your practice. Allow your muscles in your belly to soften. Scoop your shoulder blades underneath your heart. Relax the muscles in your jaw. The space between your brows. Just breathe here for a few moments. You're ready to reawaken, feel free to linger here a bit longer if you have the time. Start by just waking up your fingers and your toes, gently wiggle them. You can softly turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Reach your arms long above you like a good morning stretch. Roll to your favorite side, find a comfortable supported fetal pose. And just take a moment right here, use your bottom bicep as a little pillow, ground your top palm into the earth. Just thank yourself for stepping onto your mat. Maybe it was the first time or first time in a while. Welcome back. Remember that your mat doesn't keep track of how long it's been. Yourself gratitude for just tuning into your breath, showing yourself some love. With your eyes still closed, press up to a comfortable seat. Unite your hands right at the center of your heart. It is an honor to guide you through your practice. Thank you so much for joining us today. Draw your thumbs to the space right between your brows, the third eye center, center of intuition. The light, teacher, and student in me loves, honors, and truly connects to the light, teacher, and student in every single one of you. Namaste. Namaste.
So now we're going to break down a Chaturanga for you guys, and Kyrie is going to show us how to properly do a Chaturanga.
Yes, first of all, Chaturanga is a very challenging posture. It can kind of look easy when you're watching YouTube videos on all these other yogis that are doing it, but to do it right and to do it in a way that really protects your body, it takes a little while, so just be patient with yourself. I'm going to show you a couple different layers that you can take in order to really build up the strength to continue to do it properly, all the way up until the point where you get to your fullest expression. So I'll show you kind of the fullest expression first, and what that looks like is from the very top of a push-up. This is called high plank. Start with your heels back, almost like you're trying to get a little calf stretch, and pick your hips up enough so they're in line with your shoulders. And from here, make sure that your wrists start out underneath your shoulders. That way you have room to tip forward, okay? But before you do, make sure you're pressing the back of your heart toward the sky and really engaging your low abdominals by scooping your tailbone toward your heels. From there, inhale, shift forward. Then exhale, lower just halfway, but keep your elbows in really, really tight and on top of your wrists. Keep your shoulders and elbows in one line as well. Inhale, upward facing dog, just straighten your arms and point your toes out behind you. Really engage your thighs to lift your knees up. And then pull your heart open and your belly through your forearms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Use your core to lift your hips up high and press your heart back, roll over your toes. So, again, you'll notice how in my down dog, my back is flat, but my heels actually don't touch the ground and my knees are kind of bent. The truth is my hamstrings are really sore right now. So My knees are gonna be a little extra bent, so if you are at a point where you're not quite to the ground, that's okay, and you might never touch the ground, and that's all right too. Next, I'm gonna show you the breakdown of a slightly modified variation. And again, you can customize this pose in any way, and you can change it all throughout your practice. So feel free, if you start out with the fullest expression, but you get a little bit tired throughout the rest of your flow, you can always switch it up. Okay, so from your halfway lift, I'll show you from there this time. So keep your back really straight, belly tight as you breathe in, and exhale, plant your palms, step back, top of a push-up, just like that first one. This time, you have the option to drop to your knees, and just like a tabletop position, you'll keep scooping your tailbone down toward your heels. Shift forward just like before, unshrug your shoulders, and exhale to lower just your heart. Keep your hips where they are, and your chin off your chest. Inhale, upward facing dog, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Another option, honestly, is you can hold your high plank the whole time until I cue downward facing dog. Okay, so high plank in itself is a full body workout, so feel free to just hold that. I recommend though, if you're going to hold the high plank, skip the up dog as well, because you risk a little bit of low back injury if you try to just drop your hips and pull your heart through, and it just doesn't feel very good. Last option, if none of that feels good, but you still want to get the experience of lowering down, you have the option to do from a high plank or from your knees, either one. Shift forward and lower all the way down. Keep your elbows squeezing in tight so they're darting up toward the sky, all the way to your belly, and then inhale to a little cobra. Lift just your chest, press the tops of your feet into the floor, soften your glutes. Keep rolling your shoulders away from your ears and lengthen the back of your neck. Take a breath in, and exhale, push through a tabletop. Tuck your toes downward facing dog. Okay? So those are your options to play with. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and we'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you guys.
Yay!
Ah, that's so awesome. Coop your head in, lift your tailbone up, and then walk your toes really close to you. My hamstrings are so sore, so it's hard for me to straighten. And then just lift one leg up and just kind of pop up. Yeah, that's how I did it. And now, once you're up there, you can play with your feet and do different things like this. Sometimes you crash into the wall. That was fun. Good job. I've never done it that easily before. Just, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Oops, sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Just getting too excited. In my head, I'm like, oh, I'm a freaking scorpion right now. Let me just, like, not yours. Well, it was only a little baby top, so I was like, what was it, your shoulder? No, my head. Just a little kick to the head.
Actually, I feel like it should be a little closer. Like this. How do you think that sounded? Oh, I just spilled some tea on here. How did that sound? Was that?
I love everything you said. I didn't love how I said it. A fun time. But I'm like,
I thought it was cute. If you want to redo it, we can redo it. I thought it was cute. Cheers. Okay. Cheers.